So when you're in a business, you always track consumer sentiment, because that's from where how you work through in the business really depends from, because you have to be extremely consumer centric in a consumer business. And that same thing holds true for my business in sportswear. So throughout, whether it is by seeing what kind of product choices consumers are making, what kind of usage behavior consumers have with those products, but overall, how is the consumption pattern moving? Which kind of channels they are comfortable shopping in, what kind of price points they are comfortable shopping in, and how is the shift, like in our industry, for example, today we see a big traction around sports adoption in India, right? People are getting more attuned to playing sports. People are doing more fitness than ever before. There are more marathons than ever before. People are women are doing different types of fitness activities, whether it is yoga, calisthenics, Pilates. So a lot of new fitness forms coming in. So there are changes and movements that are happening today in our industry, which are quite dramatic, right? And the way to track that would be not just to look at what the consumer is buying, which of course is given, and you look at data for that, but you also track what are the big cultural changes that are happening, which are impacting the industry. So that's something that we do at various points. But most importantly, out of this is the right attitude towards being consumer centric. All right, because if that is ingrained in oneself as a professional, or as a team, or as an organization, I think one does know where to pick things from. There are various ways in business that one tracks. One is that you look at historical data, and then also you do predictive analysis through your consumer and product, and see whether you have the product and market fit, what's the pricing fit for it, and you use tools around that. And a very, very important and very relevant tool for us is also social listening. And social listening tools are extremely important, because the world has really changed in the last, I would say, even 2, 3, 4 years, because consumers are expressive today. Consumers are not shying from expressing their opinions on social media. And one needs to really find the best way to listen and sift through that data. And this has become very, very important. Also, because we are in fashion business, tracking fashion trends is extremely important. And that's the future, and that's where how the fashionability is moving, and that has its own gamut of activities that one needs to do to track that trend. So I would say that it is not a one way of tracking consumer behavior, but there are multitude of activities that one needs to do this well. And that's very clear that consumer trend, the consumer behavior pattern of consumption is changing so fast. And it's not just the product and the price at which they are consuming today. It's also the way they are consuming content, the way they are consuming, the way they would like to today engage with brands. It's so different from how it was in 5, 10 years back, and that's become very, very traditional way of approaching, because things have really become very different, I would say, in the last 5 years. The amount of changes I have seen in the last 5 years, or even last 3 years, has been more than what I have seen in the last 15 years. So that is the speed of change that is happening on the consumer end. And I think all successful brands are extremely over-indexed on their penchant for following the customer, and the customer's behavior.